Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have two mods that we think work well together. First, let's start with People and Strangers. This is a mod that tries to add a bit of immersion to the game by making NPCs strangers. The way it works is extremely simple, and it just makes it so you can't see an NPC's name if you haven't met them before. So for example, instead of seeing Sven, you see Stranger, and then after you've met him, it changes back to its default state. So the mod is extremely simple, and because of that it doesn't require any other mods or SKSC, and it's essentially script free. There's also several other additions that help keep the changes consistent through the game. So for example, Jarls won't be called strangers, but instead be just Jarl until you speak to them. The mod also doesn't affect guards, animals and other non-humanoid NPCs. Generally speaking, if you've already played through Skyrim dozens of times then you might not find the mod too useful. But if you haven't played in a while or have a friend that's new to Skyrim modding, then we think this is definitely worth recommending. It'll also work on all new NPCs added by other mods, so if you haven't played through Helgen Reborn, Falskar or another quest mod, then this might be a nice addition too. The second mod for the Spotlight is also from the same author, and was created in a similar mindset. It basically makes it so you don't know what buildings are called, or who lives there. So instead of walking up to a house and instantly knowing who lives there, you'll instead just be able to see whether it's locked or not. Unlike the first mod, these changes are permanent, and regardless of whether you enter the building, it'll never change the text. However, similar to the other mod, it doesn't require anything and will work with buildings added by other mods. We think that if you like the first mod then you'll probably like this one too, but we also think that the mod could do with a couple of changes. For example, famous locations should probably have its name listed, and if it's possible, after you've entered the building or spoken to the building's owner, then the name should be reverted back to its original state. But realistically, the NPCs in the base game do such a good job in introducing the building they're in, that having to learn the buildings by heart makes for an interesting little gameplay mechanic. So overall, if you're interested in these two mods then you can find links down below. The mod also comes from the author who created SkyDie, Prepare to Cry edition. That was a mod that made about a dozen smaller changes to the game to create a more Dark Souls-esque difficulty setting. So we'll include a link for that down below too. And as always, be sure to leave an endorsement on any mod you enjoy, and thanks for watching.